with the information that we still got about Spring Breakdown being premiered on March 30th, I decided to make this video regarding the role that Rainbow Dash is having in the special, considering the fact that she's convinced that Equestrian magic is completely on the loose. So, people say that this is going to be Rainbow Dash's special, considering the fact that she's going to have a focus in this. Well, even though just by looking at the story of this special, it's most likely going to be basically a special that is just mainly about her, but mostly about going to Ponyville and stopping the staff from causing a lot of chaos. Now, here's what I think about Rainbow Dash's role in Spring Breakdown. I think that she's just gonna be a secondary protagonist, but at the same time, she might be able to have some kind of a serious development in the special. The thing is that when it comes to development characters that are on Sunset Shimmer or Skytry, they usually do something very low serious, like when Rarity and Applejack's relationship, which was kind of forced and kind of hammered in roller coaster friendship. I just think that having some kind of a focus for the other characters still isn't a good idea, considering the fact that it won't forward the story and really work for the special in general. Here's what I mean by that. I know people don't usually remember this, but Rainbow Dash did actually kind of have a special of her own in Equestria Girls. And that special was Mirror Movie Magic. Yes, the special is completely different, but at the same time, Rainbow Dash completely had some kind of a role in this. She usually tried to stop who was the one who's stealing all the equipment for the movie, and the fact that she actually, well, pretty much tell everyone that she completely knows that she was responsible since she's a fan of Daring Do, like trying to stop who's stealing all the stuff. And then towards the end of the episode or special, she freaked out because of the Daring Do movie that she and her friends are a part of. I really think that with her whole role in movie magic will probably be the same thing in this. And it'll probably be way more different. I mean, I think that they're just trying to have Rainbow Dash trying to be some kind of an intelligent person by trying to find where the equestrian magic is coming from, but at the same time, I just think that it's kind of hammered in, considering the fact that they're on a cruise ship. To me, you don't usually do a lot on a cruise ship, and even if the Storm King's magic is completely causing a lot of havoc on the lackey, I think that it's probably trying its best to have Rainbow Dash have some kind of moments. I think the reason why Rarity and Applejack have a special of their own, which was Roller Coaster Friendship, is because they want to have some kind of spotlight for some reason. But at the same time, it doesn't continue the problems of the magic getting corrupted in the Mirror World. And another thing that I should mention is that the fact that, well, I guess of what's going to happen in Spring Breakdown, even if it's not completely, I just don't want it to be just like Roller Coaster Friendship. Since that this is actually taking itself seriously and the Storm King's magic is going to be part of this situation, which is actually a thing that happened in the My Little Pony movie, you really need to expect something very serious from this, since this is the second time we were able to get to see that. And let's get into the part of the pony up thing, because they're going to do the same thing again like in Roller Coaster Friendship. Now, me watching this, I completely expected this to be I think that people usually expect this to be Rainbow Dash's special because she has some kind of a focus, and with this being pony up, they're going to stop the bad magic thing like they usually do. But here's the thing. Not only do I think that there's not going to be some kind of villain, because even if the quality that we get to see in in the Comic-Con's footage that we saw from this special, I pretty much know that there's not going to be a villain in this situation. So I think that what they're going to do here is probably trying to stop the Storm King's magic, but it's way too powerful for them to easily take down. And another reason why I think that this is mainly a Skytwi special is because not only is that this is the first time we're ever going to get some kind of focus with Skytwi, but the fact that she's in the middle of the pony up thing. Here's an image that we saw from Roller Coaster Friendship involving the characters. When Rarity is in the middle, that's probably because she was the main focus of that special. And Applejack was just basically... And Applejack is kind of a focus, so she's right by her. While the other characters like Skytwi and Sunset are by the sides. Way far sides. So I really think that Rainbow Dash and Twilight will probably have some kind of a focus. But for Rainbow Dash's focus, it will be either just trying her best to easily show how much she's really responsible into finding the magic, but at the same time, she's just doing it because, well, she wants some kind of a spotlight. I mean, the only characters who didn't get a special of their own was Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie. But at the same time, even if they do, it will probably be in the same situation that Rainbow Dash is getting in this. Now, here's the thing here's what I completely noticed. In one of the links, it shows a rainbow trail. So, I think of what's going to happen. If it's going to happen in the special, it could be either a way of Rainbow Dash just trying to figure out what's going on in the pony world, but at the same time, looking at this right now, it could be an upgraded... It could be an upgrade animation on Rainbow Dash's speed. Even if it really doesn't really affect it because the effect that Rainbow Dash doesn't go on forever, I still think that's really the case. I don't know. I mean, though, if Rainbow Dash has some kind of new abilities, then I can accept that, but I think they pretty much have only one ability, and that ability is speed, reading minds, and telekinesis. In my opinion, the girls only have one ability. They don't have multiple abilities. Because even though that we did kind of see that when Rarity did that chain thing, or whatever you call it, but that's about it. And besides, I think that she did that in Forgotten Friendship when she tried to stop Wildflower Blush's memory stone from causing more problems. I mean, it is kind of interesting that the girls might have more abilities, but I think that it's going to be really hard for me to believe that there's going to be a lot of abilities. I mean, sure, there could be corruption with Rainbow Dash in the Storm King's magic, but I don't think that's going to be the case, since that not only that she's completely pulling up here, but the fact that she's also going with the other characters, mainly Sunset Shimmer and Twilight Sparkle, into Ponyville. I really think that what we're going to see in this, it's mainly of what's going to happen for Rainbow Dash's responsibility involving her spring break and with her best friends. And if this special wasn't about the other characters going to Ponyville, maybe I can easily accept that. But they are going to Ponyville, and the discovery that the Equestria magic is related to the Storm King could easily make things a lot worse, and I don't think that the droids will be able to take care of that situation. Now let me get this out of the way. I don't think that there's going to be a villain like I mentioned, because if it is going to be a villain because of their own selfish needs, then this will probably take the same idea from the Legend of Titanic animated movie, which is the second movie involving the talking mice and throwing logic out of the window. I know it's kind of stupid, but every time I see that, I think that it's probably the way more forceful thing I have ever seen from this special. If that's going to be the case of Spring Breakdown, then that will probably be the most worst thing that this special will ever do, because you need to understand that the staff that completely went into the human world on its own And if it wasn't because of somebody, if it wasn't because of anything, then this will probably be the 7th or 8th time that they're going to do corruption magic thing again, which is going to be one of the biggest problems I'm going to have with Spring Breakdown. And I have to say, this is not going to be... I know we didn't get any information about the special as of now, but I really don't want this special to be very predictable and really less serious like Roller Coaster Friendship was. I mean, I don't have a problem with Rainbow Dash having a special of her own, but she already has one in Movie and Magic, and that was almost 2 years ago. I just think that having her in some kind of focus in Spring Breakdown is just kind of hammered in. I mean, all she's just doing is just figuring out why Equestria Magic is all over the place. That's basically it. So she's just basically a secondary protagonist. I mean, if she was actually in a if she was actually have a serious role, like in Movie Magic, trying to stop someone from stealing all the equipment from the movie, then maybe I can understand that. But seeing how other characters who are just not taking themselves seriously, other than Twilight Sparkle and Sky Toy, who are probably the only characters who should have some kind of spotlight in this situation, I think that at this point, Rainbow Dash is just either just going to stop the magic and just completely boast about herself that she's completely did the same thing that Sunset Shimmer and Sky Toy did, like stopping the magic from causing a lot of chaos. And as for Rainbow Dash going with the other characters, it is kind of cool to see that Rainbow Dash is actually going with her, but at the same time, I think that she's just there because she's a secondary character. I think that the difference between Human Rainbow Dash and Pony Rainbow Dash is that it's probably because they're probably just trying to make Human Rainbow Dash completely different, since that she's a human and Pony Dash does pony things. And considering the fact that she's just trying to help the other characters figure out what's going on, and the fact that she's going with them to Ponyville, they're just probably going to find where the Storm King's magic is coming from, and they're probably going to Ponyville because it is mentioned to get Princess Twilight's help. I just really think that the idea of having Rainbow Dash going with Sky Twi and Sunset Shimmer does kind of work, but it's probably something that they're just trying to do and have some other characters to have some kind of spotlight. That's basically all I see of Rainbow Dash going with Sunset Shimmer. And I really hope that this isn't like in the 3rd or 4th of this episode. Believe me. If they completely did that way later, then there probably won't be any kind of focus or have enough time to understand of what the situation of the corruption of the Storm King's magic is coming from. No, there is something that I'm going to mention, and it's that the ship has a petting zoo. I've got a feeling that there's going to be several other animals coming with them because, well, apparently the animals decided to be part of the cruise. So I've got a feeling that this could be a possibility that we might be able to see Spike again. I've got a feeling that this image could happen nearly at the middle of the episode. And when Fluttershy is holding a sheep, she's just trying to protect her. She's just trying to protect the sheep from causing a lot of harm, or maybe the fact that she completely loves sheeps. Then again, she was walking with a lobster in the screenshots that we saw from Comic-Con, but then again, I really don't know. So I got a feeling that this is happening either the middle of the episode or towards the end of the episode, towards the end of the special. And there's one thing that I need to discuss, is that the fact that the premise of the characters going on a cruise ship, while they're completely enjoying themselves, I think that what's going to happen for the majority of the cruise ship, I thought that there was going to be some kind of ideas of this promoting the fact that it's going to be shorts centered around the cruise ship like the beach one did, but I really think that they're probably going to fit in everything that they need to do for that amount of time. I'm just really afraid that the fact that they're completely having so little time involving the premise of a cruise ship and also the corruption of the Storm King's magic. I'm just looking at this 44-minute ideal of the cruise ship getting corrupted by magic again, but at the same time I really wanted to see it follow of what they're going to do with the Storm King and the idea of the other characters going to the Pony World. I'm still having some hopes that they'll at least no villain. I mean, I know it's gonna be a big disappointment, but come on, I've already made a video that there's not going to be a Storm King because it will probably be hammered in. You really need to rethink that the idea that if there's going to be someone causing corruption on the cruise ship because of their own selfish needs, then it will either become redundant or probably not really forgivable, because I just don't understand what the idea of what they're going to do. I mean, in the premise that I saw in the other two specials, they at least explain of who was the mastermind behind this whole thing. I mean, you can understand that there's going to be someone gonna cause a lot of chaos in this entire situation involving the memories and the shipping relationship between Rarity and Applejack. But here, there is really no villain that is going to be the mastermind in this. It's just the Storm King's magic causing corruption problems, and that's it. And the fact that I've mentioned videos ago that this is gonna be Twilight Sparkle's month because it's dedicated to Twilight Sparkle, and the fact that Season 9 is going to be the final season, I guarantee you that they're probably going to have two Twilights interact with each other because they knew that they're not going to put any more focus on Generation 4 anymore, and Equestria Girls will continue on. Not that I really dislike Rainbow Dash, but her being in the focus is just basically the same role as the other characters like Applejack and Rarity have been doing in the last special, when they don't take itself seriously and just being very confident about the fact that they can handle Equestria magic because they're OP. Yeah, I'm still completely staying my fact that the reason why the girls are completely OP is because they can't handle anything that isn't completely different. I mean, they were never OP in Rainbow Rocks and the other movies, but after that, they're completely handling stuff that are way too easy. Which is why I probably didn't like the idea of the girls completely handling stuff by themselves. This is one of the reasons why I don't like this show being a standalone, because it keeps completely hammers in on the fact that these girls have overpowered magic. At least when the girls did it in the show, they completely went through a lot of situations, and they went through way more dangerous, crisis situations. But here, it's corruption, magic, forgiveness constantly. And it's getting really old at this point. I mean, like I mentioned, the girls completely went to the Pony World because they don't have any other choice. And if they completely went to the Pony World because of fan service, which is just seeing Rainbow Dash and Skytry in the Pony World, and that's that, just to see the Storm King's magic, then this will probably be really one of the biggest disappointments. I really don't want to see stuff like this because of how hammered in the idea of having fan service done but for the wrong reasons. I know my fan service is just like everyone else's fan service, but at least this is taking itself seriously. And I don't want this show to at least delay the idea of doing fan service ideals, but keep ignoring the fact that they don't continue on the interesting concepts that they have. Anyway, that's basically all I have. I know people are mostly going to disagree with this, and we have a month until Spring Breakdown comes out, but for the sake of keeping this in perspective, just understand that Rainbow Dash is probably going to be a secondary protagonist. Even though there are some links that can prove that she has some kind of a Rainbow Trail ideal, but it could be something that either involves in a different short or in something else. I just don't understand of what they're going to do. I just pretty much know for a fact that of what's going to happen in Spring Breakdown, it's either going to be thinking of what is going to I know it's going to happen, but at the same time, it's either just hiding everything to keep all the spoilers hidden. Anyway, I'm Lonely Fanboy 3 here, and I'll see you when I do another review of the Equestria short on Friday.